In this video, we're going to finish off biology by taking a look at the connection between cellular respiration and the three main systems that we studied in grade 10 biology. So as a little mind's on, I want you to try answering this multiple choice question. Where does fat go when you lose weight? There's three choices here, A, B, or C. Lost as energy / heat. Is it lost as water? Is it lost as both energy, heat, and water? So I want you to try to answer this, and after you answer this, I want you to watch this video. And then once you're done watching the video, I want you to try to re-answer this. So pause the video, watch the video, try to answer it after you've watched the video, and then we'll reveal the answer. So if after watching the video you realize that none of these seem to match what was in the video, you're correct. None of those actually match what's in the video. The weight loss is a result of carbon dioxide being released from your body. And it all has to do with the fact that cellular respiration is taking fuel such as sugars and fat that's stored in your body and breaking it down using oxygen to release energy. And in that process, the CO2 is breathed out and you lose that mass. That's where you lose weight. So this whole idea of you lose mass and energy, mass is energy, is incorrect. Energy does not have a mass. And it's not just water. Water does have a mass, but that's not where most of your mass is coming from. It's really from the CO2. So what's important to understand is that we talked about a variety of different organ systems. And all the organ systems that we talked about, they're all interconnected. They're interdependent. That means they all depend on each other and they all work together. And they're connected. We saw that the digestive system and the respiratory system are actually connected to the circulatory system by those very small blood vessels called the capillaries. Remember, the digestive system, the villi, have capillaries to absorb nutrients, and then the respiratory system, the alveoli, are surrounded by capillaries to absorb the oxygen and get rid of the CO2. So these systems, these main ones here, and also others, they all work together in order to allow you to do cellular respiration. We're going to take a look at how the digestive, respiratory, and circulatory work together to gather the ingredients for cellular respiration and also to get rid of some of the waste. So again, this is the equation for cellular respiration, which happens if you look at your cell in a special organelle called mitochondrion or mitochondria plural. The mitochondria take sugar, they react with oxygen, that breaks the sugar open and releases energy in the form of this molecule called ATP. So the ATP actually contains energy. And then we have water that's produced and carbon dioxide. So think of this as like the waste here. You got to get rid of this at some point. This is the equation. Remember in chemistry we learned about equations. We have glucose. This is glucose, a type of sugar, reacting with oxygen to produce CO2 and water, and then to release energy as well. And what I want you to understand is that the digestive system plays a role here. The digestive system's main role is to gather this fuel, the sugar. So when you eat food, the chemical and mechanical digestion breaks food down into smaller sugars that can go into the bloodstream and then be delivered to the mitochondria for cellular respiration to happen. So the main role of the digestive system is to gather this fuel. And then the circulatory system obtains the sugar from the small intestine via the villi. The nutrients go into the capillaries, and then the circulatory system delivers it all over the body. Now, let's talk about the respiratory system. The respiratory system plays an interesting role. You probably guessed it, it's responsible for gathering this oxygen, this O2. When you breathe in, oxygen is brought to the alveoli. Then at the alveoli, the oxygen goes into the capillaries, as you can see here. And then the blood delivers that oxygen to all the body cells, and the body cells take it into the mitochondria to do cellular respiration. So there's sugar and oxygen. Sugar's from the digestive system, oxygen is from the respiratory system. But in addition to bringing in the oxygen, the respiratory system is responsible for also getting rid of some waste, in particular the CO2. If CO2 builds up, it's not actually really good for your body. CO2 reacts with water to make an acid, and that can make your blood too acidic, and it could actually make you sick and could actually be really fatal. I mean, it could kill you. So if you don't breathe out the CO2, that's really bad for your body. So the respiratory system helps you to breathe out that CO2 to get rid of that waste product. The circulatory system helps too because it brings the CO2 to the lungs so that you can actually breathe it out. So this here is just a summary, that connection overall of everything we just said. But essentially the mitochondrion does cellular respiration. So here's a cell, here's a mitochondrion. It's usually not that big, it's just really big to show you. We're focusing on cellular respiration right now. It takes in glucose or small sugars and other fuels that come in from the digestive system. It takes in oxygen from the respiratory system, and then the reaction happens and that releases CO2, water, and energy. The CO2 is delivered by the circulatory system to the lungs so you can breathe it out. That's the whole process of cellular respiration. Here you can see it on a different scale. We have a blood vessel here that has nutrients like glucose, goes into the cell, which goes into the mitochondrion. We have hemoglobin on the red blood cell, which is carrying oxygen. That goes into the cell, into the mitochondrion to do cellular respiration. The CO2 is produced by the mitochondrion, exits the cell, goes to the blood, and the blood can deliver this to the lungs to breathe out. Now, you don't have to worry about all these other molecules here, like lactic acid, for example, or pyruvate. This just shows you more details of what's happening during cellular respiration. You actually learn more about this in grade 12. Grade 12 biology has an entire unit on cellular respiration, and it zooms into more the mitochondrion and how that process happens, which is really cool. You actually, there's one lab that one of the teachers does in biology where you can make pizza, and it's connected to cellular respiration. So this is again a summary of the pathways we just described. So the pathway for oxygen starts off in the atmosphere. The respiratory pathways delivers the oxygen to the alveoli in the lungs. Then once in the lungs, the oxygen goes to the blood by entering the capillaries that surround the alveoli, and then it goes to the cells and the mitochondria. For the glucose and sugar, it starts off as food. It's crushed up and then brought to the small intestine villi, where the nutrients like the smaller sugars like glucose go into the blood through the capillaries, and then it's brought to the cells and mitochondria. Whereas for carbon dioxide, it's sort of the opposite. The cells and mitochondria produce the carbon dioxide. It's released into the blood delivers it to the alveoli in the lungs, and then it uses respiratory pathways sort of backwards in reverse to exit into the atmosphere. So that is how cellular respiration is connected to the systems that we discussed. It's connected to other systems as well, but we want to see really a focus on these three systems here. Understand how cellular respiration is connected to chemistry as well. This is a chemical reaction overall that happens in our body. So our bodies are living things, but there's chemical reactions that happen inside of them. And so that's why it's important to understand chemistry as well. There's a whole unit of study called biochemistry that you can take if you're interested in both of those subjects. So to summarize this lesson, this is a great slide to focus on the pathways of the different reactants and products in cellular respiration. Writing out that equation is important. Understanding where it happens is also very important.